Thank God it's Friday. Monday's a brand new start. Wednesday, you're halfway home, and Thursday, the weekend's not far. Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday? Nothing, not a damn thing. Tuesday bites, Tuesday sucks, Tuesday blows, go away. Tuesday's crap, Tuesday's lame, Tuesday's dumb, go away. Tuesday, Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday?
Nothing. Except, as you mentioned, it might be the best day of weather for the rest of the week. Mm-hmm. Mid-70s, sunshine. Looks like tomorrow in the 70s again, but cloudy, and then thunderstorms on Thursday, and then back into the mid-60s on Friday.
A little bit cooler for the weekend, yeah.
Yeah. So today might be the best
Today's
day
the jam.
weather-wise. We'll get to Scott Robert Shaw, obviously, in the newsroom for Three Ways and Bad News Happy Music. Also, another special guest going to join us later on this morning, Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show. Going to try to talk to him on a weekly basis now, see what's going on around Wisconsin. So many things.
I know him.
Yeah. Also, we'll let you know what's new on New Release Tuesday. And since tomorrow is May 1st, we'll give you a list of things to look forward to in the upcoming month of May.
Yeah, I did a lot of stuff with my kids, obviously, Easter baskets and all the traditional things. But my mom asked me the other night, did you guys ever make May baskets? And I'm like, no, Mom, we never did that. Apparently, when my mother was growing up, that was like a thing on the 1st of May. So I'm going to have to look into that because I was unaware of what she was talking about.
Aren't you a little late to the party when it comes to making baskets for your kids?
I'm just saying she asked if we ever did that, and I'm like, that was never part of our thing. And she's like, oh, okay.
Be like, trust me, Ma, I got plenty of other things that I did to substitute for the May baskets.
I did, but it was interesting.
Cookie Palooza.
all sorts of things.
All the stuff, yeah.
But forgotten tradition, says right there on the internet.
So it's not just your mom. It's something that, okay.
We all forgot.
Some Lincoln Park coming up. If you want to get in touch with us, visit rockmornings.com.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom. Going to be the best day of the week weather-wise, it seems like. Right, Shaw?
Looking pretty good today, that's for sure. Going to be sunny and 72.
Got to mow that lawn. More rain coming later this week. How looks like 85% in my forecast for thunderstorms on Thursday.
Let's see. Wednesday night, maybe more toward morning, probably going to see some showers move through. But then, Thursday during the day looks like it's going to be a wet one. Half to 3/4 of an inch of precipitation. A 90% chance of getting wet on Thursday.
Yay!
Yeah. So cut the grass.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Get it taken care of early in the week. Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. What's the latest?
The United States is stepping up its pressure for a ceasefire deal in Gaza. Hamas officials are in Egypt to discuss the new proposal ahead of a visit to Israel this week. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken urges Hamas to accept the latest proposal, calling it extraordinarily generous on Israel's part. Terms have not been made public, but according to Israeli media, Israel has lowered the number of hostages it demands that Hamas free during the initial 6-week phase of a ceasefire in return for the release of hundreds of Palestinians from Israeli prisons. A child abuse charge has been filed in La Crosse against a Milwaukee man accused of toppling a flat-screen TV, causing injury to a 2-year-old boy. 21-year-old Irvin Toombs faces charges of physical abuse of a child, property damage, and obstructing an officer. Police say Toombs was visiting a woman at her 3rd Street apartment, became angry, and allegedly pushed a 50-inch TV off its stand. The big screen reportedly struck the child in the back while he was playing on the floor. Police were called, and they arrested Toombs after a brief foot chase in downtown La Crosse. Some familiar smells near La Crosse's City Brewery could be reduced soon. Members of La Crosse's Board of Public Works have approved a compliance order that calls on the company to make facility repairs and take other actions to lower the amount of hydrogen sulfide gas released into the air. Matthew Sweet, the City Brewery plant manager, tells the board that a bioreactor needs to be replaced.
That wastewater facility is aging, so we're really trying to look at replacing the entire facility and really trying to look at the surrounding landowners within around the facility to really try to partner with putting in a complete brand new facility that would essentially greatly reduce all of the H2S.
For now, plans are to place a new roof on the reactor, but City Brewery will be fined by the city $100 a day until the smell is reduced. Records show city employees have had discussions with the brewery about odor issues for close to 20 years. Wisconsin's governor is back on pothole patrol around the state. Governor Tony Evers is spending this week traveling to cities including Milwaukee and Fond du Lac, helping street crews fill potholes. This is the fourth year in a row that Evers is doing a tour to call attention to highway and infrastructure spending on projects that went undone before he became governor. In May of last year, Evers visited Onalaska to help repair holes in a street near City Hall.
Well, he's obviously not doing a very good job.
One shovelful at a time is not going to get it done very quickly.
No, certainly not. Got a lot more potholes to fill, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Smile for the camera. What a waste. Traveling around state, pretending you care about potholes. Give me a rat's ass about potholes. Why don't you drive in these communities, dude? Tell me how great it is. Waste all this money and time doing all this other crap. Roads continue to suck ass. Looks like Fallujah, bombed out. Drive down almost any street in this town, and it's brutal.
It is.
But hey, the governor's out there with a shovel, so...
Some hot mix and...
Yippee.
Here we go.
Yeah, the patch that doesn't last.
When rain comes, it all bubbles up and floats away.
A little bit of tar and a couple of rocks in there, and yeah. Thanks. Appreciate it. Your government hard at work. Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. It's the final day of April, so we'll take a look ahead to May with a list of things to look forward to in the upcoming month. We'll get to that a bit later on. We'll let you know what's new on New Release Tuesday. Our buddy Grant Bills is going to join us, Shaw. We talked to him a couple weeks ago as we got ready for the draft and as we got, of course, the NBA playoffs kicking off with the Bucks. Obviously, during
sports.
Well, during the season, the Bucks were certainly a favorite to come out of the East,
not so much
along with the Celtics. But then Giannis goes down with the injury, and now Damian out with the injury. So at the time when we talked to Grant last week, the Brewers were on fire, but another snafu with the umpires last night.
Boy, 2 games in a row, they've gotten hosed.
So we'll obviously talk to him about that and the Badgers and the whole transfer portal thing. And that when we talked to him, too, we were talking about the NIL deal, and I saw you wrote about that. It got voted down.
Yeah, the WIAA, the governing body of high school athletics in Wisconsin, was considering a proposal that would have allowed high school athletes to profit from their name, image, and likeness, similar to what we're seeing in college sports. They ended up voting it down, but it was close, and they did say they will revisit this. So you got to expect at some point that's going to happen.
I didn't know how many there's
31 states have NIL deals for their high school athletes,
including most of our neighbors here in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of time, really.
I don't know. Do we really want to see that, though? I mean, we see what's happened in college sports,
but
where it's become a bidding war for the talented players.
I don't think it'll be like that. I mean, obviously, you look at a state like Texas where high school football is, a massive undertaking. Yeah, I could see that happening there. But here in Wisconsin, I think it feels more like my uncle owns an auto dealership, you know what I mean, and wants to give me money to put his, you know what I mean? Like if you're... think of what were the twin brothers that just...
The Davises.
The Davises, you know what I mean? You think of someone that's that good, that's going to go on to a college career, that's got, Duke's head coach coming to town to see him play, one of those things, then yeah, it might make sense for those athletes to be able to make a few extra bucks or for a sponsor to get on, get them in their commercial or something like that. Right now, there's no real rules governing that, right? So... Well,
it's outlawed right now. They cannot accept that money under current rules, but again, it's likely that's going to change.
Yeah, so I could see it being more like that. I highly doubt. I mean, we had a guy that texted us when we were talking about it a couple weeks ago, say, "Oh, great $1 million deals for high school students." I said, "Let's reel it in there, bro. I don't think some high school kid's going to get $1 million deal."
No, but it's a slippery slope, though.
Oh, I get it. Again, Pandora's box. We're seeing that with college basketball and football and the college sports, obviously, but I don't know if it'll be on that big of a scale. Certainly not in Wisconsin. Not yet, at least.
Interesting.
More from Shaw coming up a bit later on. Get in touch with us by visiting rockmornings.com. We got some Five Finger Death Punch after Lincoln Park.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is Rob Halford and Five Finger Death Punch, Lift Me Up. The Brewers losing to the Rays last night, 1-0, thanks to another controversial call by the umpires. Same two teams tonight at 6:40. If you saw the game, you know what happened. If you don't know what happened and you want to read more about it, you can certainly Google it. But there was a call at the plate about batter or hitter interference and a backswing and hitting just what a mess. Two games in a row.
Like noteworthy, where people are like talking about it, where it's like...
And not necessarily the cause of the loss, but certainly impacted the outcome of the game. I mean, in terms of, they could have been continuing to play and all that. Yeah, so. NBA last night, Celtics went up 3-1 on the Heat, thanks to a 102-88 win. The Thunder completed the sweep of the Pelicans, 97-89 win. They await the winner of the Mavericks-Clippers series. And Denver eliminated LeBron James, so we can all celebrate and dance on his grave. LeBron and the Lakers out of the playoffs now, thanks to a 108-106 win. Denver takes that series 4-1. Denver, by the way, the Nuggets advanced to face the Minnesota Timberwolves in the second round. That'll start next weekend. Tonight in the NBA, the 76ers try to avoid elimination against the Knicks in New York at 6 p.m. on TNT. That's Game 5 of that series. Orlando at Cleveland, 7:30 on NBA TV for Game 5 of that series, which is tied up at 2 apiece. Pacers are at the Bucks at 8:30 on TNT for Game 5. Bucks will be eliminated with a loss. And in doubt tonight, Damian Lillard and Giannis. Doubtful that they'll play. Yep. Probably won't. NHL last night, the Florida Panthers destroyed the Tampa Bay Lightning 6-1. They take that series 4-1. They await the winner of the Boston-Toronto series. And the Dallas Stars tied up their series with the defending champion Vegas Golden Knights at 2 apiece, thanks to a 4-2 win. In the NHL tonight on the ice, you've got Toronto at Boston, Game 5 of that series at 6 p.m. on ESPN. The Bruins are up 3-1, looking to eliminate Toronto and move on to the next round. Islanders are at Hurricanes at 6:30 on TBS for Game 5. Carolina also up 3-1 in that series. Avalanche at Jets tonight, 8:30 on ESPN. Colorado up 3-1, and Nashville at Vancouver at 9 p.m. for Game 5 on TBS. Canucks also up 3-1. Ezekiel Elliott's reaching a deal to rejoin the Dallas Cowboys, according to sources. 1-year deal worth about $3 million, reuniting him with the franchise that took him with the 4th overall pick back in 2016. I think he played for the Patriots last season. The CBS NFL pregame show will be much different this upcoming fall.
Tell me why.
The network announced yesterday that 2016 league MVP Matt Ryan will join the cast of the NFL Today, while longtime veterans Phil Simms and Boomer Esiason will not be returning to the CBS NFL pregame show.
That's a shake-up, freshening up a little bit.
Big time, yeah. Big time. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. You can get in touch with us by visiting rockmornings.com. We've got what's new on New Release Tuesday coming up in just a bit. Plus, we'll take a look ahead and tell you some stuff to look forward to in the month of May.
I'll tell you can look forward to today for the most part. Throughout the central, lower part of Wisconsin, it looks like sunshine and the nicest day of the week. We might, mid-70s might happen.
Tim Montana coming up in just a few. Stick around.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Attention, Red Lobster lovers. Just because we're on the brink of bankruptcy doesn't mean an end to those endless deals you know and love. So while we can no longer afford to offer shrimp, say hello to endless napkins. That's right. No matter what you order, for no extra charge, you're getting a napkin. Or 10.
What if I want 11?
Here you go.
And a water refill?
From the tap? Glug, glug, glug.
Wow! Can I get an extra straw, too?
Don't push it. Red Lobster, for that napkin lover in you.
Who knew the shrimp would set him back so far? Mm-hmm. Man.
Like almost bankrupt, right?
Legit, probably going to have to.
Mm-hmm.
The shrimp. People hammered them on the shrimp. I didn't realize. I've told you, I went out there one time for shrimp, and I was just sort of... If you brought me all the shrimp at once, I'd be okay. But they bring it to you like 4 at a time, and they slow you down. So it takes
maybe you're like, oh, I am full?
Well, I'm not full, but kudos to the people that can sit there for 4 hours and just hammer shrimp. I got places to go. I can't be here all day waiting for shrimp to come out. But yeah, they're apparently in desperate need of some fundage, Shaw.
Yep.
after the endless
Not alone.
shrimp
Lots
fiasco.
of fast food places are struggling, and lots of restaurants.
Television today, you've got the series premiere of The Veil on FX on Hulu. It's a spy thriller starring Elizabeth Moss as an undercover MI6 operative trying to stop a terrorist attack after rescuing an asset from a refugee camp. So that's over on FX on Hulu. There's a new one-off special on Netflix today called My Next Guest with David Letterman and John Mulaney. So those two teaming up to interview somebody. 9th season premiere of Catfish on MTV. I can't believe the show's still on. Also Password on NBC tonight starring Howie Mandel and Jimmy Fallon. Will Trent, The Cleaning Lady, The Rookie, Alert Missing Persons Unit, The Good Doctor, all on tonight. Late night shows are all new this week, Shaw, after being in repeats last week. Tiger Woods going to be on with Jimmy Fallon.
He doesn't make the rounds very often.
Jerry Seinfeld, who just recently turned 70, I think it was yesterday he turned 70, will be on with Kimmel, probably talking about his Pop-Tart movie.
Yeah.
And speaking of him, he was talking about cancel culture.
On a recent interview or something?
Yeah, so in an interview with Page Six, Jerry Seinfeld, who again is going to be on with Kimmel tonight, said political correctness shouldn't be a problem for comedians if you're smart enough to navigate around it. But he also had an interview with The New Yorker where he kind of said the opposite. He criticized the extreme left and PC crap. He said in this case, it appears that he's talking mostly about TV shows and comedies. He says there were no, I didn't realize this, and I don't know if it's true, but I assume Seinfeld wouldn't spew inconsistencies. He said there were no sitcoms picked up on the fall season of all 4 networks. Not one. No new sitcoms.
I guess I hadn't thought about it.
Jerry Seinfeld says it's because the networks would rather not do comedy than risk offending someone.
Well, it's also those reality shows are so cheap to produce. So.
Well, yeah, it doesn't cost you anything. He said stand-ups get away with more because we are not policed by anyone. The audience polices us. We know when we're off track. We know instantly, and we adjust to it instantly. Well, yeah, I mean, you look at people like Chappelle, who obviously got into some hot water with the transgender community, and yet every show that he does sells out. So it's like, and every Netflix special gets him a lot of money. So if he wants to keep making those jokes and towing that line,
people can buy the tickets.
And then, yeah, so... But I don't know. As a person who's rewatching Seinfeld for the 3rd time now and binging it, there's very few instances where I've over the last 8 seasons that I've watched.
That doesn't hold up at time.
Well, like the Hitler thing, right, with Mr. Pip, who was Elaine's boss, and the pen broke, and she got the black on his right. upper lip, and he went in to talk about buying a couple of water companies or something like that, and they reference Hitler, and I was like, it doesn't offend me personally. I'm not bothered by it, but I could see where in today's climate you put that on television and people would be outraged because maybe they don't understand the joke or maybe they just kind of tuned in and saw.
Why are you joking about that?
Also on late night television, sorry, kind of got skewed there, Shaw. Stephen Colbert is talking to Jeff Daniels, and Joe Manganiello will be on with Seth Meyers. It's also New Release Tuesday, and the reboot of Mean Girls is available on DVD today.
Just want you to know, if you need anything, don't be shy, okay? There are no rules in this house. I'm not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
Is there alcohol in this?
Oh, God, honey, no. What kind of mother do you think I am? Why do you want a little bit? Because if you're going to drink, I'd rather you do it in the house.
I don't know if Amy Poehler's in this one, but Tina Fey is, and so is Tim Meadows from the original Mean Girls. It's rated PG-13. You've also got Renee Rapp, Jenna Fisher, and John Hamm. Pretty much the same exact storyline, right?
Yeah.
Mean Girls.
Yep.
Madam Web, rated PG-13. Dakota Johnson, Sydney Sweeney, and her immaculate breasts. Mike Epps, Adam Scott, Emma Roberts. This is a MCU movie, right? In the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She plays a New York metropolis paramedic who begins to demonstrate signs of clairvoyance. I think Spider-Man shows up at some point. Apparently it was not well received in theaters. A movie called Ordinary Angels, rated PG, starring Hilary Swank. It's inspired by the true story of a hairdresser who single-handedly rallies an entire community to help a widowed father save the life of his critically ill young daughter. So if you care about that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Also, Andor Season 1, Moon Knight Season 1, and Lawmen Bass Reeves, all on DVD today for New Release Tuesday. So that's what's coming out.
Today I will not be watching things. Today I will be outside doing things. Maybe later in the week, Mean Girls, but when the rain comes.
If I'm watching anything tonight, Shaw, it'll be after I get done mowing the lawn.
Brewers and the Bucks play tonight, too.
Yeah, Bucks are on. It might be the end of their season.
8:30, right, on TNT, I think?
I'm not sure what time, but...
Yeah, and the Brewers are at... they got screwed again last night.
They did. Tampa Bay.
Same
bad calls in 2 consecutive games.
Yeah, that Aaron Judge one was blatant. I don't know how
they missed it. You got 4 umpires there, and they all missed it.
Well, they call it unreviewable. I think they may have seen it, but you can't go back and review that play, apparently. So that's why they didn't take a look at it on the, in New York or whatever. But crazy. You, what did you do last night? Anything? You watch anything, or did you just chill out at home? What'd you do, Shaw?
What did we do last night?
Unpack, laundry?
Yeah, kind of some of that stuff, yeah. Yeah, we didn't do much.
Yeah. Same here. Just kind of vegged.
Wasn't any sports on to watch, really.
Watch Valley Girl.
Love that movie.
I didn't realize how many boobs were in that movie.
Really?
It was very boobalicious.
And funny.
It had its moments. I forgot how, dull that movie was, other than the boobs.
That's what stood out to you.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you got Dottie from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. She's in that film, and she takes her top off. And a couple of shower scenes. Oh, yeah. It's not bad. What else going on?
A lacrosse man is charged with strangulation and other offenses after a weekend incident on Denton Street. 19-year-old Cornell Banks is accused of getting into an argument with a woman whose apartment he was visiting. The criminal complaint says Banks pushed the woman to the floor, punched her in the face, and placed his hands around her neck. Others in the room reportedly pulled Banks away from the woman. Banks was given a signature bond and has been ordered to stay away from the victim. He's due back in court after Memorial Day. If you go near La Crosse City Brewery, your nose is likely to notice something in the air. The brewery is now working on ways to cut down on the rotten smell of hydrogen sulfide, such as fixing or replacing a bioreactor, which produces the smelly gas. City wastewater treatment superintendent Jared Greeno says brewery officials have spent years working on the problem.
They worked to come up with some plans to put a new cover or roof on the reactor. They put a temporary cover on it, which I believe helped for a while. But now it's really time for that cover to be replaced. We need to keep those odors inside that treatment plant so their odor control, their chemicals can work.
The city's Board of Public Works has ordered a fine for the brewery, $100, to be charged for every day until a solution to that smell is found. The city of La Crosse approving some exceptions for parking and other regulations at the Quick Trip north of Bridgeview Plaza. That store is scheduled to be replaced soon with an even bigger Quick Trip. La Crosse's Board of Public Works has okayed the exceptions, including measures to install a stormwater pond where the existing store stands. City planner Tim Ackland says Quick Trip plans to keep that current store open until the new one is built, closer to Rose Street. And pickleball is picking up in popularity around the U.S., but how good is the sport for your health? An Associated Press report says playing pickleball is good for increasing your heart rate above 100 beats a minute in some players over the age of 60. Experts do advise heart patients to check with their doctors before starting a pickleball habit. The number of pickleball players in the U.S. is up to 13 million now, more than 3 times the number of people who played just 4 years ago. The former Shopko store at Bridgeview Plaza in La Crosse recently was converted to a pickleball court. Still haven't tried it yet.
Me neither. I know Jean's into it. Did you get your pickleball racket? I thought you were going all in on pickleball.
No. There's just one. There's a bunch of courts in our neighborhood, and they are always full. Yeah, and I was walking the dog.
You were saying the other day you were going all in on pickleball, that you were going to get a racket and a ball. And
I never said I was going to go all in on it. I said I'm interested, and I've got people in my house play it all the time. And we were walking actually through the neighborhood the other day with the dogs headed down to the river, and there was a friend of ours out front with some kids, and they were playing, but with the wiffle ball, and they said that they've been trying to get on the court to play, but every time they go down there, it's jam-packed.
It's popular.
Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. We'll get back to him in just a bit, give you a list of things to look forward to in the month of May. We'll talk to Grant Bills a bit later on, read your emails and stuff, get in touch with us. Visit rockmornings.com. You can stream the show there. Listen live. You can check out our daily podcast, find all of our contact information.
Rock Mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
AC/DC, for those about to rock, we salute you. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Again, a beautiful day in Wisconsin with high temps in the mid-70s throughout the region.
Yes.
Plenty of sunshine. looking like some rain and showers and thunderstorms later this week. So, yeah. After all the rain this weekend, my lawn is in desperate need of a haircut. So, that's what's happening today. Mowing the lawn. I got to clean the gutters in the back, too. Got some sticks and crap in there. Got to get that cleaned out. Get my hoses all set up in the backyard for my sprinkler operations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Want to have sprinkler system installed, but
everything costs money.
Well, and we're going on this big trip in June, in just about a month from now. So trying to conserve all the money for that.
I just talked to somebody yesterday who went on a trip, and she's like, now we're broke for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's how it happens.
We'll be all right, but all the money that I have saved up is going towards the trip rather than all the projects that I want to do in the backyard this year. So it'll be fun, though. We'll have a good time. Looking forward to it. Cleveland and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Christmas Story House. Going to stop at Notre Dame and check out the ball field real quick.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Try to make it up to Niagara Falls, too. We'll see. Not to mention all the expensive seafood that I'm planning on eating when I'm in New England. We got music from Alice in Chains on the way. More three-ways with Shaw, Bad News, Happy Music. Grant Bill's going to join us, plus a list of things to look forward to in the month of May. Stick around.
Rock Mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That, of course, Alice in Chains, I Stay Away. Here's a lady who stayed away. She stayed away from home so long, she went to every single country in the world.
What? She has a map and she has a pin on it.
Did you hear about this teacher?
No.
I suppose when you get summers off, you probably have a lot of time to travel. Obviously, being a teacher, you don't get paid very much, but maybe she had some extra money laying around from a settlement or something. I don't know, but a second grade teacher from California recently went to Syria and completed her goal of visiting every country on Earth. At least all 193 that are recognized by the UN.
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
Now, you'd think in the history of the world, and with people traveling the way they do, and all these influencers and the places they go, that there'd be a lot of people that have done this before. But according to the stats, it's apparently more rare than people who have been to space. Apparently, there's only been about 600 people that have gone to space. And I think that's space, not like hot air balloon up there, kind of see it a little bit. But only around 400 people have actually done this.
I bet.
Every country in the world type thing. It's pretty interesting.
193 is the total that is recognized by most travel clubs because that represents the number of UN members who do vote. So every year I would plan a big trip. And so then my next trip was Australia, New Zealand. Then the next summer it was like a different part of Europe. Then it was Central America. And by the time I had taught for like 6-7 years, I think I was already like 50 countries. Like when I asked the students what were they grateful for, you heard answers like, I'm grateful for diversity, my freedom, I'm grateful for my education, opportunities. Those answers, I would say, are directly correlated to discussions I've had with them.
Her name is Lucy Hsu, and she has visited 193 countries. Syria, the Middle Eastern country, was the last one on the list. She said there are not many people who have visited every country in the world. 193 is a total that is recognized by most travel clubs because that represents the number of UN members who do vote in the UN.
It's amazing.
No official tally. Widely estimated that about 400 people in the world have been to every country. By comparison, more than 600 people have gone to outer space. So, very exclusive club.
I always think that thing where, you hear about individuals who have gone to every baseball stadium in the United States. I always feel like that's daunting.
That's our plan when we retire.
And that's a lot more
Well, the nice thing
achievable.
is if you talk to people who are from, we actually discussed this, Carl, our friend from England, coming over here and experiencing America and how far everything away is from each other, right? How big America is as a country.
Yes.
And from state to state, even from here to Milwaukee.
But if you go to Europe,
if you go to Europe, you can jump around to a bunch of different countries in a day, because everything's kind of just jam-packed there. I mean, obviously, it's not like that in every part of the world, but certainly in the European countries.
Right. When he came here to visit, I told him it took 9 hours to get to Michigan on the top of it. He was like, how? What?
Isn't it right there? It's like right over here.
Next to you.
Yeah. How does it take so long to get to your neighbor? I'm not a big fan of the music in the background of this video or the lady's commentary, but the video itself is heartwarming. If you know anything about mama bears, they care about their cubs, something fierce. Mm-hmm. And this woman was videotaping a mama bear and her cub on it looked like a train bridge almost above a stream.
Water?
Or not necessarily. I wouldn't say it was a river because it's pretty narrow. But the cub fell off the train bridge, and the woman captures it on video, and the mama bear is still up on top, and she's freaking out, and she ends up coming around and going down, going in the water. The cub is, kind of adrift, and not, it's pretty heavy current. It looks like there's a lot of logs and stuff underneath, and so the mama bear actually is able to grab the cub and drag the cub over to the shore where it's all rocky. Yeah. She gets up there and then the bear falls in a second time.
Oh my god, the bear just fell in the water, babe. Where is it? No, he's running for it. Oh, she's so upset. Look at her go. Get your baby.
Yeah, so mama bear able to save the cub. The video of the bear just falls off the bridge. It was a railway bridge in Plymouth, Connecticut. So this woman doing a play-by-play of this bear and her cub.
Love that. Good job, mama bear.
Shaw coming up in a bit. Some Metallica on the way. If you want to get in touch with us, you can visit rockmornings.com for all of our contact information. You can also listen live on the website and check out our daily podcast.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Are you familiar with the name Olivia O'Brien?
I don't believe so.
Do you like breasts?
Sure.
Gene, are you familiar with Olivia O'Brien?
Yes.
Do you like breasts? Big, juicy, meaty breasts?
I have them.
You have big, juicy, meaty breasts?
Yes, in my mind, yes.
Okay. Well, her big, meaty, juicy breasts were all over the television the other night, Shaw, and she went viral for it.
Those breasts can be quite large.
And hers are quite large. They were jammed up in that shirt, man. Woo! I don't know how you don't have a nipple exposed. I mean, that was low cut as low cut can get.
Maybe some tape.
She was spotted in the background of a shot during Saturday night's Laker game.
Yep.
And it's kind of funny, the image that went viral, because the coach is looking sternly at a computer screen, and then right behind him is this milky white, delicious set of knockers.
He had a job to do. He's very focused.
Goes viral all over the internet, and people are trying to track her down. Barstool Sports, to their credit, were able to find out who she was. She has a whole bunch of new followers on Instagram, by the way. No big surprise. And she used her newfound fame, good for her, much like Tan Mom, to try and capitalize by pushing her latest single called Blip.
Hope she's a better singer than Tan Mom.
Oh, yes, she is.
Yeah, she's much better.
Yeah.
She said, quote, "Hello to all my new followers after my viral boob moments.
I understand.
While I still have you here, go stream my new song."
Yeah.
I did not stream it, by the way, so I have no idea what it sounds like. I'm sure it's crap. She then tossed in a plug for I Hate You, I Love You, which was her 2016 collaboration with some rapper named Nash. Or Ganache. Well, there's a G at the beginning, so I don't know if it's Ganache or G Nash.
New song coming out, in a week or so, May 10th, it looks
She said, since I'm assuming most of you are men, not my typical audience, I'm assuming with her music, not with her breasts. Mm-hmm. You may also know me from this song from back in the day. Thanks for the boob appreciation. Now let's get to streaming, boys.
Hey, take it and run with it.
I wonder if there was some thought that went into that, Like if I go to the Laker game and I'm down by courtside and there's enough cameras and they capture the girl with the big boobs, because they've been known to do that, Shaw. The cameramen are no stranger to finding those beautiful ladies.
Embracing the viral moment, making a couple jokes about it.
Yeah,
and elevating what she's doing and plugging a couple songs.
She loves the attention.
Olivia O'Brien going viral over the weekend.
Being a pro there, yeah.
Yeah. Nothing sells better than boobs, Shaw. Mm-hmm. Slap some boobs on it and people will buy the product. Even in this day and era, even with all the Jerry
She embraced
Seinfeld
it.
PC
Yeah.
leftism that he says is ruining this country. Put some boobs on it, Shaw, and people will come out. Right now, a three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. What else is happening?
Well, traffic is clear after an accident earlier this morning on Copeland Avenue in La Crosse near Festival Foods. Traffic on that stretch was being diverted to Monitor Street, but we just checked, and the road is now fully open again. No details yet on the accident itself. A La Crosse hospital may be in line for a name change. More than a year after Bellin Health and Gunderson Health System merged into one system, it appears a new brand is coming for that system, at least according to online records. The Bellin Gunderson Health System has filed the paperwork with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to trademark the name Amplify Health as the name of the new merged hospital system. The application seeks approval for a new logo, which features the words Amplify Health in lowercase with a curved line that looks like a smile, highlighting the letters L, I, and F. The man who killed his wife and brother-in-law in a drunk driving crash in 2022 is heading to prison for the next 15 years. A judge in Fond du Lac County sentenced 39-year-old Adam Richardson to a decade and a half behind bars. Richardson's blood alcohol level was more than 2.5 times the legal limit when he crashed into a tree. Richardson apologized in court, but the judge says nothing about that crash was an accident. A former Eau Claire North teacher is looking at 3 years in prison as part of a plea deal in a child pornography case. Former teacher Todd Williams pleaded guilty yesterday to 1 count of possessing child pornography. Prosecutors agreed to drop 6 other counts. Investigators say they found child pornography on Williams' computer back in 2019. He has filed an appeal. One person is in custody after a chase in Chippewa County. Troopers near Stanley, Wisconsin, found a vehicle involved in a felony burglary of firearms from the city of Eau Claire. A chase reached speeds of 117 miles an hour. A trooper used an intervention technique to stop the vehicle. The driver, Andre Jermail Jordan Simmons of Eau Claire, tried to run but was taken into custody. And a Rochester police officer was on patrol Sunday when he saw a man wanted on some outstanding warrants standing outside a gas station. Police arrested 29-year-old Liban Abdullali. They say at the time of his arrest, he had a loaded handgun as well as over 100 fentanyl pills in his pocket.
My.
He is now facing felony charges.
Coming up next time we talk to you, Shaw, we'll give you a list of things to look forward to in the month of May. Starts tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's May already.
Man, everything's blooming. It's great.
Yeah, it is. Just ask the people suffering from allergies.
I'm sorry your body's not strong enough to fight back against Mother Nature. I'm kidding. Don't cancel me. Yeah, the trees.
Yeah.
I actually early last week, I saw lilac bushes
They're ready. They're
in
doing it.
bloom.
Oh, yeah,
mine are.
Not just with the green. I'm talking with the purple,
Yeah,
too.
I'm ready to harvest some lilacs.
What are we waiting for here?
Usually it's by Mother's Day, so we're not that. I
You
mean,
know how
it's in
bad
the
this
time
studio
frame.
smells? We could improve that, Shaw, with some of your
Some
lilacs.
lilacs?
I just saw some photos from up in the regional apple orchards too. I have never gone and driven through those in the spring season.
Checked out the blooms.
But some of those photos from Gaze Mills and up in La Crescent in the Apple area were gorgeous, and I thought maybe a road trip is in order
There you
to
go.
see those.
Yeah, the cherry trees?
Uh-huh.
The thing that they're so beautiful, but it's like you got 2 days and then everything's gone.
In Washington, you mean?
Even around here,
Yeah.
you get they got the white blooms and the flowers on the tree, and they're beautiful for like a couple of days, and then all of a sudden they're all over the lawn and it's done.
It's right now.
Yeah.
It's right
Yeah.
now, by the way.
Yeah. We'll get back to Shaw in just a bit. Grant Bill's going to join us at 8:25. Sports after Metallica.
Rock mornings on 95.7 The Rock.
Well, we have the basketball playoffs and the hockey playoffs happening. I always love whenever there's a best-of-7 series, because then I get to hear my favorite sports reporter question. Would you consider this a must-win game? They always feel like they have to say yes. Yeah, we want to win it. It's very important, Got our uniforms on anyway, might as well try. But it's not always the right answer, man. It's a math question. I wish I would answer that question honestly. It's a best-of-7. You're down 1-0. Would you consider this a must-win game? No. No, we can lose tonight. We can lose tomorrow night, too. We don't want to, but that wasn't your question. You asked if it was a must-win game, and if you'd ever taken a rudimentary math class, you'd already know the magic number's 3. When you're down 3, then you must win them or you're out.
Your favorite there, Brian Reagan, talking about the best of 7 series.
It's the truth. That's a great question.
Yeah, tonight in the best of 7, you've got a few games that could come to an end before 7 games. 76ers trying to avoid elimination against the Knicks. This game is in New York at 6 o'clock on TNT. Game 5 of that series. Obviously, the Knicks up 3-1. Orlando at Cleveland tonight at 7:30 on NBA TV. Game 5 of that series, which is tied up at 2-2. And the Pacers in Milwaukee to take on the Bucks at 8:30 tonight on TNT. Game 5 of that series. Bucks down 3-1 will, of course, be eliminated with a loss, and it looks like they're going to be without not only Giannis, but Damian Lillard as well. Not good news for the Bucks. Brew Crew lost to the Rays last night, 1-0. Another controversial call made by the umps there. Same 2 teams tonight at 6:40, and then a final game on Wednesday at, I think, 12:10. NHL tonight, you've got Toronto at Boston, Game 5 of that series, 6 o'clock on ESPN. The Bruins are up 3-1. Islanders taking on the Hurricanes at 6:30 on TBS, Game 5 of that series. Carolina also up 3-1. Avalanche at Jets, 8:30 ESPN. Colorado up 3-1 in that series. And Nashville at Vancouver at 9 on TBS for Game 5 with the Canucks leading 3-1. So, yeah, a lot of series in the NHL could come to an end tonight as well. July 20th bout between YouTuber turned prize fighter Jake Paul and former heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson will be classified as a sanctioned professional fight by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations. The heavyweight showdown will be contested over 8 2-minute rounds, with each fighter using 14-ounce gloves. The outcome will affect their professional boxing records. Some say that because of this, Tyson has a much more interest in winning the fight. Because it's actually being said. Well, if it's just a boxing match that doesn't affect your record and you're just there to make a check, make some money, then who really gives a rat's ass? But if it's
you make some money and it affects your record and you get some pub.
Not that Tyson's going back into fighting or whatever, but still, might matter more. Some people are saying that. And I don't know if you saw this, but David Tepper, are you familiar with who he is? He owns the Carolina Panthers.
All right.
Football team, NFL.
What happened?
Well, there's a restaurant down there in North Carolina that put a sign in their window before the draft that said, "Please let the coach and GM pick this year." And apparently David Tepper either found out about it or walked by and saw the sign and went in and caused a ruckus.
He caused a ruckus?
In the restaurant. Could you describe the ruckus?
It was him having a ruckus?
Yeah, so Dilworth Neighborhood Grill put a sign in the window that said, "Please let the coach and GM pick this year." Obviously, the fans down there in North Carolina not happy with the performance of their team over the last couple of years, thinking that
blaming it on the ownership as opposed to the...
Yeah, they want the GM and the coach to make the picks as opposed to the owner. I don't know, dude, he owns the team. He can do whatever the hell he wants. He writes the checks. If you don't like it, don't go to the games. Don't watch the team. Trust me, I get it from both sides, but the guy owns...
They can express that, though.
If I own the building, I can do what I want.
Well,
it's my building.
Of course he can do what he wants, but that doesn't mean that this restaurant can't go, hey...
No, the guy that owns the restaurant is Matt Wolfarth, and he posted the sign outside his Charlotte business before the start of last week's NFL draft, and it caught the attention of David Tepper, who stepped into the restaurant, stopping by and going in to speak with the manager, having a little Karen moment.
He really did?
Wanted to know who put the message on the sign.
Who doesn't like me here?
The owner of the place, Matt Wolforth, was not in the restaurant at the time. The interaction was said to have been a bit more on the joking side. And that Wolforth, the owner of the restaurant, who's also a season ticket holder since 1995, so for almost 30 years.
I'm invested in this.
Was alerted to the visit by the manager. Surveillance video posted by the TV station down there showed the moment that Tepper walked into the restaurant. Wolforth told the Charlotte Observer that it wasn't the first time that Tepper had come by. But the previous time was in response to a different sign that read, quote, "Meddling owners never win. Run from Jerry Jones."
So this guy's
got a problem with ownership.
A long-time season hold. I'm part of this organization. I can say what I want on the window of my restaurant, and it bothers this guy.
Wolford said that Tepper didn't seem to take too kindly to that sign, was sort of pissed off about it. This recent one seemed a little bit more friendly about it, but I think there was a removing of a hat at some point in the video. Tepper might have taken someone's hat off. Dude, you're like a billionaire.
That's what I'm saying. Why is this restaurant, one guy with some signs, bothering him so much?
What is the old phrase? Boots don't have a quarrel with ants, or ants don't have a quarrel with boots, or whatever it is? Yeah. David Tepper having a meltdown. Asking Alexandria on the way. If you need something, get in touch with us. Visit rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
As we get ready to flip to May tomorrow, it's time to look ahead, Shaw, at things to look forward to in the month of May.
How is today the last day of April already?
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Starting with movies, this Friday, The Fall Guy, rated PG-13 in theaters. Ryan Gosling.
Yes.
Is a stuntman who falls in love, right? Has to gets caught up in a real life hijinks with some kind of assassin or something like that.
Real life hijinks, Shaw.
Yes, hijinks.
That's in theaters. Also on Friday, Unfrosted. This is that Pop-Tart movie I was mentioning the other day, rated PG-13. It's on Netflix. It's Jerry Seinfeld. It's about the invention of Pop-Tarts, which I thought was in Iowa, right? Didn't we? Or what the hell was in Iowa? Wasn't there something in Iowa with a... was it Pop-Tarts? The lady at... or was it Uncrustables or something like that? It was something like that.
Okay.
Over on Disney Plus on the 8th of May, The Beatles, Let It Be. So another, I think this is the guy, the Lord of the Rings guy, did another movie.
Oh, Peter Jackson.
Redid it, found footage. This is a movie that's already been out, and I think he redid it and remastered all that crap.
Okay.
On the 10th, next Friday, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, rated PG-13. Talking apes, riding horses, all that stuff. Humans trying to get their world back.
Still milking that franchise.
Oh, boy, are they ever. Get off my planet, you damn dirty ape. The Strangers, Chapter 1, a prequel about the Strangers. That's in theaters on the 17th. Remember The Strangers? I think it was Liv Tyler, right? In the cabin with the husband and the people in the mask show up and start killing. And so apparently it's obviously that, but it's a prequel.
Scary.
The Garfield movie on the 24th in theaters. They made another one of those. Also on the 24th, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. This is a prequel to the Mad Max movie that came out a few years ago. With Tom Hardy. Or not Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy. That's in theaters. Also, The Beach Boys, rated PG-13 on Disney Plus. So another look at a musical icon. Also, this one, I had a hard time, struggled watching the trailer because emotional.
Dogs?
No, May 31st on Disney Plus, Jim Henson, Idea Man. About the invention of all and the creation of all these characters and puppets and everything. And Jim Henson and, just... Kind of like Mr. Rogers,
Yes,
all
right
that stuff.
Right in the fields, Shaw.
Not a lot of TV shows premiering in May. You've got Welcome to Wrexham Season 3 on FX. That starts on the 2nd. Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire Season 2 on AMC is on the 12th. This will be interesting. May 21st.
May 21st.
Lala, the story of Lollapalooza on Paramount Plus.
Huh.
So a look at Lollapalooza. Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars Season 2 on Fox on the 22nd. Don't forget The Lyrics, Season 3 on Fox on the 23rd. America's Got Talent Season 19 premiere on the 28th on NBC. Also on the 28th, Beat Shazam Season 7 on Fox. Of course, in sports, you've got the NHL and NBA playoffs continuing through the month of May. Kentucky Derby is on
Saturday night,
May 4th on Peacock, the first of the Triple Crown races, right?
This Saturday night.
The second race is on the 18th, the Preakness Stakes, so it's 2 weeks later. Also on Saturday night, you've got UFC 301 on pay-per-view. The PGA Championship gets started on the 16th, runs through the 19th.
Okay.
The WWE King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view is on the 25th. The Indy 500 is on Peacock on the 26th. And also on the 26th, the French Open begins. That goes till June 9th. Now, Holiday Shaw. These are our favorites, right? There's a lot of them, but I'm gonna skip through here and just kind of hit some highlights.
Month of May in review here, Shaw.
Obviously, Saturday, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you,
That is
Shaw.
Saturday night, Shaw.
Revenge of the 5th is on Sunday.
Get out your
Cinco de Mayo is also on Sunday.
Lightsabers and margaritas. That's what this says to me.
Yeah, have a lightsaber fight in your backyard with some margaritas. The next day, May 6th, Monday, next Monday is Sauvignon Blanc Day. It's a white wine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pairs well
Correct.
with fish.
Yep.
May 7th, Tuesday of next week, National Cosmopolitan Day, as in the drink, a Cosmo. Also on the 7th, it's National Homebrew Day, Shaw. Tuesday the 9th of May is National Moscato Day. It's all light wines, right? There's another white one.
Sticky sweet.
National Shrimp Day is on the 10th. How many shrimp can you eat, Shaw?
6.
I just watched the Jerk Store episode. That was just on yesterday when George is working for the Yankees and he's eating all the shrimp and he's like, hey, the ocean called. They want their shrimp back. And then
The Jerk Store.
The Jerk Store.
So does
I'm
Red
going
Lobster.
with Jerk Store. Jerk Store. Shrimp Day, by the way, on the 10th. Mother's Day on the 12th, on May 12th. That's a Sunday. Don't forget your mom. Top Gun Day is the following day, Shaw, on May 13th. So if you feel the need for speed, watch Top Gun on the 13th. Here's a good one. May 16th, National Barbecue Day and National Mimosa Day. That's a Tuesday. I don't know why we want mimosas on a Tuesday, but Barbecue Day. That's good. Actually, that's a Thursday. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Friday the 17th is National Pizza Party Day.
Let's have a pizza party.
Along with Pinot Grigio Day. Is that another white wine?
It is.
These are all white wines, huh? It's all over the place. World Whiskey Day is on the 18th, Shaw.
Okay.
You want to have a little whiskey tasting at home? Here's a good one. May 20th, Shaw. You ready?
Yep.
Yes, that's Monday.
This is for you. National Rescue Dog Day.
Aw. Why do you do that to me?
Okay, that's a Monday. What else is in May?
You know what's good to do on National Rescue Dog Day, Shaw?
Rescue a dog?
Let people know it's Rescue Dog.
May 21st it is. Yoda. Yes, Talk Like Yoda Day.
Okay.
May 21st, Talk Like Yoda Day. Chardonnay Day on the 23rd. National Drinking with Chickens Day, also on the 23rd. Dude, people around here dig that one. It's so funny. I didn't think it was a thing until like a couple of years ago, and then all of a sudden everybody's hanging out with a glass of wine with their chickens. National Wine Day, just regular-ass wine, is on the 25th. Memorial Day on the 27th.
Yeah.
National Brisket Day on the 28th, Shaw.
Yes, please.
And International Hug Your Cat Day is on May 30th.
It's a busy month.
So lots going on. A lot of wine stuff going on.
Yeah,
We've
I'd
got
say.
Sauvignon Blanc. We've got Moscato. We've got
Grigio.
Pinot Grigio. There's Wine Day, Chardonnay Day. Yeah. A lot of wine. What's with the wine? Is this when you first start drinking the whites? Is that the deal?
Spring, I suppose, yeah.
The spring wines. Put the red ones away. But there you go. Some stuff to look forward to in the month of May. Also, my birthday is on May 15th, so feel free to bring in presents or Venmo me money. I got a trip coming up that I need to pay for.
Yeah.
I got $9 on National Brian Day when I put my Venmo and my PayPal out
You
there.
got $9.
$9?
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's Mr. Influencer over here. This is what your money's getting you.
$9.
Yeah. National Brian Day. People thought it was my birthday. They wished me happy. I'm like, no, it's national. It's one of those stupid holidays that aren't real.
Right.
It says National Brian Day. If you want to Venmo me.
Scott Day.
And somebody did.
I got one guy gave me like $3 to buy a beer, and I don't even know where the other $6 came from.
2 other people did the same thing.
Yeah. But there you go. Stuff to look
All
forward
right.
to in May. Obviously, there's a ton of other stuff happening, and I just don't have time to run through all of it. But what else is going on, Sean?
One longtime lacrosse hospital could be getting a new name soon. Gunderson Health System merged with Bellin Health more than a year ago. Now, the combined organization has filed a trademark application for the name Amplify Health. It's believed that will be the name for Gunderson and Bellin locations throughout the state. Critics and supporters of a white state trooper in Minnesota who's charged with killing a black driver confronted each other in Minneapolis yesterday. More than 300 people had gathered to support Trooper Ryan Londrigan, who faces a murder charge for shooting Ricky Cobb II as Cobb tried to drive away from a traffic stop. Another crowd aligned with the Black Lives Matter movement reportedly shouted while Londrigan's defense team had a news conference. Protesters chanted about a racist justice system and said, prosecute the police. Law enforcement has called for a new prosecutor and the main prosecutor has now stepped away from that case. NASA's Webb Space Telescope has revealed the sharpest images yet of a portion of a horse-shaped nebula.
This thing is crazy.
Isn't that great? It's a great picture.
Beautiful.
The Horsehead Nebula is located in the Orion constellation and is 1,300 light years away. Webb's new glamour shots, released yesterday, captured the Horsehead's mane in finer detail, illuminating its clouds of gas and dust. The nebula is a favorite target of space observatories, including the Hubble Space Telescope. Last year, the European Space Telescope Euclid took fresh photos of Horsehead. And Taylor Swift continues to dominate in the week following the release of her 11th album, The Tortured Poets Department. The 31-track album has hit number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart, tying Swift with Jay-Z for second most number 1 albums at 14. Only the Beatles, with 19 number 1 albums, have had more. The album has amassed 2.6 million equivalent album units. A shocking 1.9 million of those came from traditional album sales. It is the top-selling album of the year and experienced the biggest streaming week for an album in history. I guess people kind of like T Swift. Who knew?
Shocker.
Couldn't see that coming at all.
Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. Get back to him for one more three-way plus bad news, happy music. Also going to talk to Grant Bills. We'll do that at about 8:25. Right now, it's 30 of a Dead Man.
Rock Mornings on your rock station.
3 of a Dead Man. Oh, man. Love those guys. So good. He's so tall, though.
Is he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tyler, lead singer. Very tall. Well, compared to me, obviously. Not that I'm short. Like
but the
Shaw
meet and
short.
greet was like, you were like, okay.
Well, I've met them many, many times over the years, but always
noteworthy.
Noteworthy how tall he is. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We got one more three-way with Shaw coming up. Bad news, happy music. We'll get to the daily check-ins, our emails and text messages. Get in touch with us by visiting rockmornings.com. Also, Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show is going to join us at about 8:25. I'm going to ask him about Giannis. There's reports that he may not be back as a Buck next season.
Oh.
Well, I doubt he'll, unless they win this series, I doubt he's coming back in the playoffs. I mean, because they're obviously probably going to sit him and Damian Lillard tonight.
I didn't realize they were going to be.
I don't think he leaves. I think you give him another year. I mean, the injuries obviously are what caused the wheels to fall off the bus here at the end of the season. But, you just brought in Doc Rivers. First year with Dame on the team.
For sure.
Give it another go. But he's not getting any younger either. You look at LeBron, you're like, that guy loved Cleveland. He wanted to be Cleveland, and then he left.
Then he left.
Came back, but he left.
There was a short divorce, yeah.
Little breakup. We were on a break. So, yeah, we'll talk to Grant Bills about that. Obviously about the Brewers situation. Lost 3 in a row now. Getting hosed by the umps on a regular. Everybody on the Brewers is, I think the Brewers may be as injured or more injured than my Red Sox. In terms of teams in Major League Baseball that have the most injuries, the Brewers and the Red Sox are certainly up there.
Is it good to have them now? Like they'll recover and get better?
If you can tread water through the first half of the season, get to the All-Star break, and still be around 500 or a little bit above,
and then people are healthy,
and then people start to get healthy. Obviously, Wade Miley's not going to make it back, being getting the Tommy John surgery, but still. So yeah, we'll talk to him about all that stuff. And if you've got any questions you want us to ask Grant Bills, feel free to email us or text them to us. rockmornings.com for all of our contact info.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Offspring. Self-esteem. Gal Gadot is 39. Wonder Woman. She is Wonder Woman. I didn't realize there's a line in here about silk stockings. Satin tights.
Satin tights.
Yeah. I was listening to it this morning. I'm like, did he say satin tights? He did. 70s were a different time, man.
They were satin, all the things satin sheets, too.
Kirsten Dunst is 42. Played Mary Jane in the old Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire. Johnny Galecki is 49.
One state that nearly 13 billion years ago.
Played Leonard on The Big Bang Theory. Also was David on Roseanne. Johnny Galecki, 49. Bunch of other stuff, obviously. Burt Young, you know who that is?
Do I?
Yeah.
Yes, I do, don't I?
Burt Young would have been 84, born on this day in 1940. He played Rocky's brother-in-law, Paulie, in the Rocky movies.
And I don't raise you to go with this scumbag. Yeah, come on. You want to hit on me? Come on. I'll break both your arms so they don't work for you.
Also was Rodney Dangerfield's bodyguard, Lou, in Back to School. Triple Lindy. Died in 2023. Burt Young would have been 84 today. Cloris Leachman, born on this day in 1925. She died in 2021.
Oh, boys, you know this festival as Oktoberfest.
We're in.
Oh, wunderbar.
Bunch of stuff. Young Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. She was on that show Raising Hope. Of course, that was from Beer Fest with the guys from Broken Lizard. And also born on this day in 1923, died in 06. Grandpa Munster from the Munsters, Al Lewis. Would have been 101 years old today. 1971, 53 years ago, Bucks beat the Bullets in 4 games to win their first ever NBA title. Congratulations to the Bucks. Obviously got one a few years ago, but to be honest. 1992, 32 years ago today, the final episode of The Cosby Show aired after 8 seasons. 44 million people watched.
Really? Wow.
But a lot of them feel duped now. Cosby. 31 years ago today, 1993, Monica Seles stabbed in the back with a boning knife during a tennis match in Germany. The attacker was a fan who was obsessed with Steffi Graf, who Monica had recently beat at the Australia Open. Monica did not play professional tennis again for 3 years.
Scary.
Well, yeah, you're out there on the court.
Scary.
You assume everything's okay, and
Some
next thing
stalker fan
jumps out there and stabs you in the back. 27 years ago today, 1997.
Susan, I'm gay.
The coming out episode of the Ellen DeGeneres sitcom Ellen aired on ABC for the very first time, where she said that she was gay, and then she became the worst boss in America, and now she's trying to cry wolf and say that she's not all that bad. Went out on a stand-up tour now, saying that I'm not that bad. 20 years ago today, interesting that the new movie, the new one, is on DVD today for new release Tuesday. The original Mean Girls in theaters on this day in 2004.
That is so fetch. Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
And that's out today, as a matter of fact, if you want to see
reboot,
reboot.
14 years ago today, 2010, speaking of reboots, the reboot of A Nightmare on Elm Street, starring Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy Krueger in theaters. Also on this day in 2019, 5 years ago, Peter Mayhew died at the age of 74. Are you familiar with Peter Mayhew?
I don't think so, am I? Oh, yes,
actor
I am.
who was in the Chewbacca outfit in all of the Star Wars films.
May the 4th be with you is Saturday.
That is correct. And there you go. Some birthdays and pop culture dates. We've got another three-way with Shaw coming up in a bit, plus Grant Bill's going to join us. Get in touch with us. Visit rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom. Not this time around, but at some point in the near future.
Okay.
I am going to attempt something new with my lawn.
Oh. Set it on fire?
So, and I'm going to just do this. I might start in the back just so I can have a few test runs with it. I've got an old mower. It's an old push mower. It's not even an assist mower, right? I don't even have a motor that pushes the wheels. I do all of the work myself. It's probably 15 years old, but I get it serviced every year. It still runs great.
You mean
still
like
cuts.
the blades that go like this? Or,
No.
it's
I'm not
got
talking
an
engine. I'm not
Okay,
talking
so
the
it is.
1940s, and
Okay.
I'm talking like, so a lot of mowers have
the
an engine
self-propel.
that pushes the wheels, right? You know, a motor that makes it move. I don't have that. All of the effort comes from yours truly. But again, I bought this thing 15 years ago, and I maintain it, so it still runs. You know, and I'm kind of a psycho about my lawn lately, Shaw, because I live in this neighborhood.
I noticed.
So what you're going to do
Very
different
particular.
is you're going to buy a rider?
Eventually, but I got to get the shed first because I got to have a place to store the rider. I've told you this. I got my back lawn is big enough where I could use a rider. Almost everybody in my neighborhood has a rider. I just don't have anywhere to put it. We got a 1-car garage. The bike's in there. All the other crap, my Simpsons collectibles is in there. All my wife's crap is in there. I have very little room in the garage, so I need this shed in the back. And that again, the vacation, all the money. It's a whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
a couple grand for a shed usually.
The one I want is about $6,000. It's a 12 by 20. It's a massive because I have a huge backyard. I have a lot of space to take up. I got a conduit that's run from the house, so I can power it up. I'm very excited about this whole thing. I'm going to run power out there. I'm going to do projects and
all sorts of garage stuff in the garage.
I'm going to tinker
shed.
stuff. Well, all the crap that's in my garage, like my shovels and rakes and all my lawn care stuff, is all going to make its way out to the shed, right?
Yes.
Along with the mower and everything else.
Then you can put your car in the garage.
Eventually, the idea is that there will be more room in the garage so that in the winter, my wife will be able to park her vehicle in the garage along with my motorcycle. I can get it in there so I can, park it in a certain, turn it so everything fits in there eventually. Anyways, the thing with the lawn, right? So right now in the front lawn, let's just say I've got a rectangle in the front, right? And obviously I got some landscaping there that's a little curved. So what I normally do, Shaw, is every other time that I mow, I change directions, which is what you're supposed to do, right? Mm-hmm. Help the grass grow properly. So I'll go this way, left, right, back and forth, back in like a straight lines, right? And then the next time I mow, about a week later, I do the diagonals, right? So this way. So I've got the...
You are very particular.
So the one thing that I haven't done is the baseball style.
The pattern.
Which is not necessarily a pattern, but it's like the diagonal.
Yeah, crisscrossing.
But there's different levels. You know what I mean? Like, so you cut the grass at a different height and it gives it a different color and look. You know what I mean? When you see the aerial imagery. Almost. Yes. I'm going to attempt that this summer.
Wow.
The problem is I got this old crappy mower and
gotta lift the deck up.
While the decking is so basically where the wheels are, there's like a
lever,
a little lever, and you got to pull that thing. And of course, it's it might as well be welded shut.
Right.
I got to pull that thing and try to raise the the wheels and lower them and all. Yeah. And it's in the midst of everything. Every time you turn around, I don't have a mower that's got the fancy like a riding mower. It's got the fancy thing on the side, and you can pick that bad boy up. And so I'm gonna attempt that.
It's an undertaking.
It's ambitious.
I really want to I want everyone in my neighborhood to lose hope when it comes to lawn care. We got a guy across the street who had the whole lawn tore up last year, did the whole reseeding, put in the hay and all that, and then he let it grow all this spring, and it looks nice, but he doesn't maintain it very well. He doesn't do a good job. Yeah. He even had one of them rollers out there.
Yep.
To flatten out the lawn and all that stuff. Still just looks like garbage.
There's an old guy in my neighborhood we walk the dogs.
Yeah,
and it's
that's the
how
guy.
does he do that, Sean?
I told you.
It's unbelievable.
We got that guy in our neighborhood, too, and he's the old retired military vet.
And it is
he walks around with garbage or plastic bags tied around his shoes because he doesn't want to get his shoes all funky. He's down there on his hands and knees. He's 90 years old, and he's down there trimming his grass with clippers and stuff.
That's how the guy in my neighborhood is. The edging is I don't even know how you get it that perfect.
He's my only competition in the neighborhood. There is a guy a few doors down. He's got a nice looking lawn, but it just, I think it has always looked nice, and he just sort of maintained it. But the guy, the old guy, is the one I got to worry about.
Well, I have to mow the trash that I have in my yard right now today.
Needless to say, I want to put everyone out of business in my neighborhood. So I want them to bow down to me, bring me gifts, leave, offerings in
front admire
of
your grass.
Offerings in front of my house. King of the neighborhood.
For sure. For sure.
I'm hoping. I don't know if this mower is the right one for that, though. But I'm going to give it a shot in the backyard at least once to see if I can figure it out, kind of get an idea down. I got to freshen it up every couple of years, Shaw. You can't just do the same thing all the time.
Well, good luck.
I'm just going to attempt to.
But you got dirt and
I do.
Nothing.
Right.
Why even bother?
Well, because there's green areas that need taken care of.
Yeah. Eventually, too, I've got a little patch of grass on the side of the house, like kind of behind where I park my truck, and I'm going to have that paved over. Push all the snow over there. plans, Shaw. Plans.
Not this
Yes,
year.
you do.
Not this year.
No. Again, going to try this. You just go in the same direction all the time? Do you even care?
Yeah, I go in the same direction.
Do you bag your grass
Sometimes,
clippings up?
depends.
Okay. I'm the same way. Usually it's every third time I'll leave the clippings out. Sort of mulches, and helps grow the grass a little bit. Working on it, though. Bad news, happy music coming up. What do we got?
Let's see. It's the opening of tourist season at Yellowstone National Park.
Yep.
Already?
Yep.
And the Bison have jumped out to a 1-0 lead.
All right, more on that during Bad News, Happy Music. I'm very much looking forward to hearing that story.
Yep.
We'll talk to Grant Bills after 3:11.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is 311 and Down, one of the many bands I'm excited to see at Rockfest this summer. Grant Bills, what's the heaviest rock band you listen to?
Well, I didn't know 311 was coming to rock. I didn't know 311 was considered a rock band. Are you guys getting soft? What 311 sits in? You didn't catch me as a 311 guy.
They're an alternative rock band, I would say. I mean, they're not a heavy metal band or an active rock band per se, but they're more of a alternative rock band. It's really hard to classify a lot of bands because, they did stoner rock back in, and they kind of did the new metal rap rock thing for a little while. So it's really hard to put them in a category, but if you want to just stick them in the rock category, there's a lot of bands that fit in there. But yeah, 311, I mean, they've got a kind of a rock thing going on. Look, if you're a band and you play all instruments and there's no computers or you don't need to plug in a laptop, then I would say you're a rock band. I may not appreciate the music you play or the style that you play, but I would say that 311 is certainly a rock band.
Listen to you. Give me, by the way, for hard rock bands, and Gene hates this, I love System of a Down. And you know what? I'm really starting to pick up on a little Tool here and there. Just some real kick-ass stuff. I like Tool. That gets me going sometimes.
Tool is great. I love Tool. System of a Down, I'm not a big fan. I had an interaction with their lead singer once, and that ruined me on the band forever.
You big time radio people, you got to stop. You got to stop this. I met him in the 90s once, and they were a real jerk.
That's when you can't.
Who are you helping?
You cannot be a jerk when you're new. You can be a jerk now. You can't be a jerk when you're just starting out and you're opening up the show. You have to be nice to me. I'm the radio guy. All right, I helped get these people here. And I'm not even asking.
Or was it Darren? Which one was it?
It was Serge Tankian.
Okay.
He was very, very, very rude to me backstage at a show. And I had all the appropriate VIP passes and everything. And I would expect that from a Vince Neil, which I did get at one point. I got very rudely treated by Vince Neil. That's fine. I expect that from Vince Neil. Your Vince Neil, your Motley Crue been around forever. But Serge Tankian, this was in the early 90s. They were barely a band at that point. It's like, come on, man. I'm just trying to be nice. And he was a big dick to me.
He was not nice back.
That's not why we asked you onto the program. Grant Bills, host of the Wisco Sports Show, heard around the state on many different radio stations. Do you know all the stations you're on? How many are you on? 3, 4, 7?
I'm on 4, La Crosse, Eau Claire, as you are as well, Madison, and a little outfit up in Menominee Marionette. I like my Great Lakes town.
All right.
So we have an affiliate over there, too, north of Green Bay.
And people can tune into you afternoons, correct?
Yeah, 4 to 6 p.m. for a rowdy Wisconsin sports talk and time. Tonight, probably going to complain a lot about the Brewers, so that should be fun. I'm sure everyone is looking forward to that.
Yeah, that was one of the things we wanted to talk about. Obviously, the Aaron Judge incident on Saturday, or what was that, Sunday? And then the umpire incident last night as well. So the Brewers have now lost 3 in a row, getting screwed over a bit. Do you know, I was wondering this aloud, do you know there's got to be some kind of rules regarding those gloves that the players wear in Major League Baseball, because it feels like Aaron Judge's glove is an extra 6 inches longer than his hand. So he's got a market advantage to sliding into second base or putting his hand up and blocking a throw to first.
Yeah, I guess he always slides like that. Like, that was the weird thing from Yankees fans on the internet, who I was obviously looking to fight them all. And they're all like, Aaron Judge always slides like that. It's like, but if he blocks the ball, like, it's interference. And the umpires said after the game, they're like, we got it wrong. Like, we should have called interference. And, like, 7 runs scored in that inning after that call was missed, which would have ultimately ended the inning. So that kind of sucked. I mean, the Brewers could have simply not given up 7 runs, but, as a fan, I'm going to complain about what the umps did. And then last night, like, ball gets through the catcher's leg, but Jake Bauer's bat tips the back of the catcher's helmet after the ball went to the backstop. So the ump made, I don't know if that's an interference call or what that is, and then takes the tying run off the board, which again, the Brewers simply could have scored 1 run before the 9th inning. But as a fan, I'm going to complain about the umps instead of what my team didn't do well enough. That's how sports fans work. That's how it should work, Simpson. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like Aaron Judge's glove itself was a lot longer than the traditional mitt that you see, giving him, a much bigger advantage when it comes to trying to block baseball. So I'm assuming Major League Baseball's got some kind of rule in place as to how big those things can be.
Well, I don't know. So those are the gloves that are supposed to, protect your hand when you're sliding into the base.
Right.
That's what those are for. Aaron Judge is also just a huge human being. So his hands are bigger already, so then you put that extra glove on. It looked like a tennis racket. It looked like his hand was a tennis racket. Added it down. And I guess, Yankees fans on the internet have made these long compilations of, Aaron Judge sliding with his hands up in the air. And I'm like, okay, just because he does it every time doesn't mean he can block the ball. If he blocks the ball, it's interference. And, it's an out. Obviously, it wasn't. The Brewers suck right now, though. We can't bury that lead. They stink. They can't score any runs, and they don't have any serious starting pitchers.
Well,
they are not in a great spot.
They might be one of the most injured teams in Major League Baseball right now, other than my Red Sox.
Yeah. Well, your Red Sox also just aren't any good. Are you going to the Trevor Story injury? Is that what doomed your season, Simpson? Is that what Red Sox fans are going with?
No, I think ownership not investing in the team is what doomed the Red Sox. I mean, they didn't get any starting pitching at all. They brought in, they got rid of Ahem Bloom, and they brought in what's-his-nuts, and he's no better. He didn't invest, and he's got no power. He's a puppet. He's just, so. People listening don't want to hear about
the Brewers. The Brewers have a bunch of injured guys. They also just could have retained Corbin Burns. No, they didn't have to trade him.
Yeah.
It's not like they got some crazy prospect haul. Both of the guys they got are playing right. Well, DL Hall's injured, but Joey Ortiz, the infielder's playing. So that's what I've been thinking about the last couple of days as I'm watching these starters struggle to go 3 or 4 innings. It's you had Corbin Burns, and you decided it was best to trade him away, and now you don't have any starting pitching other than Freddie Peralta. So I don't know. That's been a frustrating thing for me to think about the last couple of days with the Brewers for sure.
Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show on air with us, and the other thing that, of course, Wisconsin sports fans are talking about is Game 5 tonight. Assuming the Bucks are going to get eliminated without Giannis or Damian Lillard playing tonight, is that a definitive, or are they still up in the air?
I mean, we learned on Sunday night during the game, the sideline reporter on TNT was and Giannis ran the first time today with no assistance. He had only been running on the zero gravity treadmill. And it's so he hasn't even dealt with gravity until now. Okay, so he's not coming back. I feel pretty confident in that. And then Dame, he hasn't ran outside of the swimming pool as of yesterday.
Okay, so they're not playing tonight.
No, they're not playing tonight, and I don't, even if the series goes 6 or 7, I don't think they're coming back. I think both of them are done. So between you and me, I kind of just want them to lose tonight. Just get this over with so we can move on. Sorry.
I think they bring the band back together. I mean, they just picked up Doc Rivers midway through the season. Giannis and Dame go down with the injuries late in the season. They haven't even given it a full year to really see how it fleshes out. But there's a lot of talk on the internet now that Giannis might go somewhere else. What do you think?
I think there's been talk on the internet that Giannis is going to leave for 5 or 6 straight years. And maybe he does. I don't know. And if he does, all right, the end of an era. The Bucks. You can't say the Bucks didn't try everything. They tried a couple coaches. They tried a new superstar Dame. I would be a little bummed because I still think Giannis and Damian Lillard together with a little time to build chemistry and maybe a full year with the same coach.
That's what you're
saying. Up some chemistry. Yeah, if you get these two in the playoffs, I still think the Bucks 5 starters this year when they were all out on the floor together, it's far and away the best lineup in basketball. Their numbers were the Suns with Kevin Durant and Booker and Beal, they had all their guys healthy. They were just terrible. Mm-hmm. It was one of the worst combinations in the playoffs. And the Bucks were healthy, had their guys. They were great. So I think the Bucks need to retool some of their role players, get younger, even if that means those players are a little worse. Just get guys who can run and jump and not, miss 2 weeks when they fall over and, nudge their ankle just a little bit. They're just too old. So that would be my goal. I wouldn't have a problem bringing the same group of superstars or stars back because we haven't seen them in the playoffs since the year they won the title, which is really frustrating.
Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show joining us this morning. We'll try to get you on every Tuesday to talk about all things Wisconsin sports. Has the girlfriend moved in yet, or is that still an unofficial thing?
No, that's official. It's just, Lisa's June 1st, I believe. So that's the weekend I'll be.
Yeah, not happening.
Yeah, I got to rent a U-Haul, and it's a whole thing.
All right, I can't wait. I can't wait till she moves in fully, and then your relationship deteriorates, and then you realize what a mistake you made.
We'll talk about that more later.
Yes, we will.
I'm very agreeable. Do you guys think I'm some high-strung roommate that's going to go nuts?
I don't.
Mister, I didn't have any butter for my toast, so I decided to eat oatmeal instead.
Dry toast.
Any reasonable person would have done that.
I agree.
You got jelly? You got peanut butter? You got something else?
Yeah, but peanut butter and eggs, that doesn't... I want
eggs, peanut butter on the toast.
I know, but then the toast and the eggs are separate. When it's buttered toast, the eggs and the toast, they go together like a combo. Do you cook at all, Simpson? This is rudimentary stuff.
This guy with his dirty mustache telling me about cooking.
Yeah.
Hey, say hi to your mom for me, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday. All right, Grant?
I will. I love both of you. Thank you for having me on. You guys have a lovely day.
Grant Bills, host of the Wisco Sports Show, joining us on Tuesday mornings at about 8:25 to talk Wisco sports. We'll get to Daughtry and Bad News Happy Music next.
Rock Mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril. Now that's just nasty. Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man. Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
What do we got on a Tuesday, Shaw?
A victory for women who need to pee. The need kicked in as Gert Peening was on her way home from a bar in Amsterdam one night. She weighed her options. It was past closing time, so she couldn't duck into a bar to use their facilities. The nearest public toilet was some 2 kilometers away. She resorted to squatting in an alleyway, coaxing her friends to cover her as she did so. Police soon turned up, handing her a $140 fine for public urination. Few could have predicted what would come next. After a 9-year battle for urination equality, in which thousands took to the streets of the Netherlands, Amsterdam has now said it will open more public toilets soon.
Oh.
Now, the day after she was fined, she woke up furious about the injustice of it. She said there were a lot of urinals for men nearby, but I couldn't go anywhere to pee. She then wrote a letter challenging her fine, pointing out that Amsterdam was home to 35 public urinals for men, but only 3 public toilets for women. After 2 years went by without any formal response, she then found herself suddenly summoned to court to address her outstanding fine. The judge told the woman that despite the lack of female facilities, she should have made use of a men's urinal.
Pee in the urinal?
Yeah, it may not be pleasant, but it is possible, said the judge. She pondered the judge's suggestion and said she and her friends were all laughing about it because it was so ridiculous. Across the country, the response was sharper. Protests began to pop up in cities across the country, calling on women to challenge the judge's view. Women were invited to demonstrate the impossibilities of urinating in a public urinal that was built for men. Some posted photos online showing themselves twisted in knots, attempting ambitious gymnastic poses in order to comply with the judge's orders. Now, she got together with a council person and put together some legislation calling on Amsterdam to expand the number of accessible public toilets. It took years to secure the ultimate victory, but this month, Amsterdam said new accessible public toilets will be available starting in October.
So there's a 12-to-1 disparity in terms of men's rooms and women's rooms. Is that the same with the population there, or?
Oh, I don't think so, no.
Or is it pretty split down the middle, 50-50?
Yeah, I've never been to Amsterdam, but... An 18-year-old driver in Michigan woke up to a rude surprise yesterday morning. Not only was he passed out behind the wheel, but he had a tree smashed into the front of his truck. Ooh. And deputies were there to investigate.
So he was driving around with a tree in the truck?
Well, for a time. They don't know for how long. Oh. The unnamed 18-year-old was arrested for driving while intoxicated. Shortly before this happened, somebody called police about a truck at a gas station that had a large tree stuck in its front bumper with a man passed out inside.
Oh, yeah.
Deputies took the driver to a hospital for treatment and planned to seek OWI charges. They didn't know where the person person hit the tree or how long he had driven with the tree in his bumper.
Think of the trees.
When Varsha Sahu accidentally inhaled the screw of her nose pin 2 months ago, she wasn't too concerned. She thought the pin had gone into her stomach. It would naturally pass through her digestive system. But instead, the metal object got lodged in her lung and caused her weeks of discomfort and shortness of breath until it was finally removed by doctors. Like most married Hindu women in India, Varsha had been wearing a nose pin since her wedding. It's considered a symbol of marital status. She didn't notice that the screw had come loose. One day she was talking and took a deep breath and inhaled it. She said, I had no idea it went into my airway. I thought it had gone into my stomach. Doctors were able to remove the pin from her lung, calling her case extremely rare.
When I was in England, I experimented with marijuana a time or two, and I didn't like it. And didn't inhale, and never tried it again.
Yeah, she should have taken Bill Clinton's advice.
That's right.
I didn't inhale.
Don't inhale. A father and his 11-year-old daughter in Las Vegas were stung by bees more than 130 times during a horrifying encounter at a Vegas baseball complex.
Oh, my gosh.
The father
they had swarmed him?
Got the worst of the attack as he protected his daughter. Brad Scott says some bees were bothering people the other night in the parking lot as he and his 11-year-old daughter arrived at the baseball complex. They started walking along the path to her flag football practice when bees started swarming them. They were under attack by hundreds of bees, maybe more. The father says the attack put him into a fight or flight mode, and at first he chose fight. He said, I had to tear the glasses off my face. They were crawling in between my glasses and my eyes. They were trying to fly in my mouth. I got stung a ton of times on my ear. He soon realized that fight was so futile against so many bees, so he eventually decided to sacrifice himself in order to save his daughter.
So they followed him or something?
He told her to go away. He stood there while the bees swarmed him. He ended up, as you could imagine, getting the worst of it. He got about 100 bee stings. Ooh. His daughter got stung about 30 times. He said, thank goodness that none of us have an allergy to bees. I was just going to say, they're lucky. We would have never made it out of the parking lot. Eventually, a beehive was found in some dead brush just off the walking path where they were attacked. They estimated it could have held several thousand bees.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah!
Yeah, the bees. That's the thing.
Yeah. Your firearms are useless against them, Shaw.
Yikes, Rooney.
A restaurant cook in Houston, Texas, is accused of putting his genitals on open food items.
The jelly, right? In the jelly? Is that the jelly guy?
I don't know what
dipping him in the jelly
item it was.
It was jelly.
Deputies arrived at the restaurant and saw surveillance video from the manager that showed 27-year-old Othello Lorenzo Holmes allegedly placing his genitals on food items. When interviewed by police, he said he has these urges frequently and has a history of sexual offenses.
Yikes.
Following the controversy, the restaurant immediately shut down and fired the employee. They also threw away all the kitchen items, and they have not served a single patron since. He is now charged with indecent assault, and police believe he may have done this at several restaurants where he previously worked.
Oh, there's no beating my balls.
Oh, yeah,
they're made from a secret Schweddy family recipe. No one can resist my Schweddy balls.
Yeah, especially when you force us to enjoy them by putting them in our food.
A Pennsylvania man's emotional support alligator called Wally has gone missing while they were vacationing together in Georgia. People are asking, where's Wally, after the gator disappeared. His owner, Joey Henney, said he last saw his pet in Brunswick, Georgia, and believes that the animal was stolen. However, he delayed filing a police report because he didn't have the proper permit for Wally while on their southern adventure.
Steals an alligator?
He's now offering a reward for the safe return of the animal. He posted a collage of 3 photos showing him cuddling Wally, who's helping him battle depression and cancer.
This is a full-grown
Is this the guy that tried to get into the ball game?
It's the same guy.
This is the same guy?
He made headlines when he and his animal were refused entry to a Phillies baseball game at Citizens Bank Park.
This guy just can't stop making headlines with his
When Wally
gator.
was denied access to the game, Henney stayed outside the stadium with him to greet some of his supporters and let them pet him. He says Wally is friendly, sweet-natured, and enjoyed giving hugs. He said he doesn't show anger and shows no aggression. He's just awesome.
Until somebody gets their hand bitten off.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not going in for the pet of the gator, man. Not going to happen, no thanks.
Gator don't play no shit.
Yeah,
Good. You could
exactly.
play all of it if you wanted to.
Oh, thank you.
It's opening week of tourist season again, and the bison at Yellowstone National Park jump out to an unsurprising 1-0 lead.
Hell yeah.
A 40-year-old guy named Clarence Yoder from Idaho Falls approached a bison
Clarence
too closely,
Yoder.
getting within 25 yards of the animal, and was injured by the bison. Rangers to the Yellowstone Park responded after getting a report of somebody who was harassing a herd of bison and had kicked a bison in the leg.
You could just leave that guy out there.
Yeah.
Why even bother bringing him back?
He was arrested, charged with being under the influence of alcohol, disorderly conduct, and approaching and disturbing wildlife. He apparently suffered some minor injuries from his encounter with the bison. This is the first reported incident of a visitor being injured by a bison at Yellowstone in 2024.
I think we shouldn't treat their wounds. If you get injured by the bison because you're being an idiot, then you are not allowed to get treated by a medical professional.
Okay, that's a unique punishment, but...
What do you think, Shaw?
I don't know that's going to fly.
I think it should. Mm-hmm. You want to get drunk and harass the bison who are just out here doing bison
he had it
things?
coming for sure.
Then you don't get any kind of medical care.
No.
None. Not a Band-Aid, nothing. Not a Tylenol, nothing.
Wow, harsh. And in Florida, the victim of a drive-by attack was hit in the arms, legs, and torso by a road-raging Florida driver.
Is this the second time in 2 weeks? I think remember?
Oh, that's similar.
Okay.
This guy who was targeted escaped without injury because he was only hit by pasta with sauce. Cops say that Nolan Goines was involved in a road rage incident, apparently over glaring headlights, while driving near his home in St. Petersburg. He then threw food, pasta with sauce, from the passenger seat of his vehicle and hit the victim through his open window.
I wonder if it's the same lady from the last
remember?
week.
She was mad.
Well, Sean wasn't here. He was on vacation, but we had that lady that
threw spaghetti.
She was trying to turn, and someone turned in front of her, and then she got followed by this woman. She had her kids in her car. She was pregnant.
Throwing spaghetti.
And then the person threw spaghetti at her car.
Well, this guy was found with the same food stains on his sleeve as the target of the pasta pelting. He was charged with battery and booked into jail. Investigators did not identify the kind of pasta or sauce used in the attack. It's also unclear if this guy was transporting his dinner or whether he regularly travels so armed.
It's an Italian dish, so shouldn't we say it properly? Like spaghetti, not spaghetti?
I got to be honest. The bigger question I have.
Yeah.
Who are all these people driving around with spaghetti
pasta,
at the ready?
Yeah, I know, it's
just at the ready on the
Are
passenger
they
seat.
leftovers? Did you just come from a restaurant, maybe?
I mean, once is a coincidence, twice is a habit.
Well, we talked about that yesterday. Was it her lunch? Did she take the leftover and then she's like, I'm so angry, I don't care if I don't have my lunch? Or you're right, they were out
I'm
to
not
eat.
throwing pasta out the window. I love
Maybe
pasta.
this guy just normally drives around with pasta in case he gets into an incident and he's got a weapon at the ready.
It's his go-to move.
Maybe.
He stops short.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's tacos, sometimes it's pasta.
I'm not throwing any delicious food out the window. Not a single iota of it.
Mm-mm.
No matter how mad I
You
get.
go out to eat and you have the leftovers, Shaw. Why would you be so
Right?
angry? You just
Now,
went out to eat.
if I've got some leftovers that I don't like, some kind of vegan kale thing, throw that out the window in a heartbeat. I don't even need to be in a road rage incident.
Was this marinara? Did it say Alfredo? Did it say?
No, it didn't specify the type of sauce or pasta.
The lady last week had spaghetti and sauce. It sounded like a red sauce.
You never throw Alfredo. No,
God,
never.
No way.
Covet the Alfredo.
Yeah, no, that's abuse. Abusive to food. Yeah, we have an epidemic, apparently, of people driving around with pasta at the go. That's some kind of new option that these vehicles,
Maybe.
these
The pasta
Elon
cooker?
Musk cars have. They have a pasta cooker in there. Like a
Center
little rice
console?
cooker. Yeah.
I don't know.
Bad news, happy music. Thanks, Shaw.
Yep.
Appreciate that. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll get to our daily check-ins after beer.
Rock mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9. Call,
Hello?
email. I tried emailing you. Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Got a message on Facebook from Ian. Said, thought you would like this design. Listening from Toma this morning, I also take a lot of time with my lawn, and driving straight and having a checkerboard is a must. Yeah, he sent in a couple of pictures. One of them is not his lawn. It's kind of a wavy look to the lawn where it's...
my brother does that, I think, in my mom's property, like an actual wave, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the other one, it's his lawn, and it's, more of a checkerboard where lines going this way and that way, and they're darker on one direction than they are the other direction, and that's definitely something I'm gonna try to figure out here. Also got a text message from Steve. Steve texted in, said, "Let me know how it goes. I'm heavily invested in your lawn excellence." The mower may be an issue. I did get a text. I don't know who it's from. A 715 number. They texted us, said, "Tell Brian he doesn't have to change the height on his mower when he goes over the second time. If you go over it a second time at the same level, it'll give it a manicured look."
So you're going to do the baseball.
So it's basically like mowing twice, essentially.
But
only on every other one is my guess. Yeah. Again, working on it. Also got a text from Malum. Malum! Said spaghetti at the ready. Really has a nice ring to it. What's your spaghetti policy? Are they Charlie Day just walking around with a bag of spaghetti and sauce in there?
Well, it sounds like it. There's two stories.
Twice people have thrown spaghetti in a road rage incident. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't get it. Not wasting spaghetti. Matt texted in, said, "I spent some time in the Netherlands last September, and I can tell you public bathrooms are few and far between, male or female, and most businesses require you to be a patron or pay to use their restrooms." That doesn't surprise me. I mean, a lot of restaurants in America, especially big cities,
you have to pay to use.
Well,
got to make a purchase or something.
Quick Trips ain't nationwide, dude.
Yeah, but that was ridiculous.
Well, 3 of them compared to 35? Yeah. Well, and then the judge to say, "Well, just pee in the men's urinal." Bro, do you not have any concept of female anatomy, how it ever works? I mean, I've seen videos, trust me, they're all over the internet, and I like watching them, but that stuff is not going neatly into the urinal, all right?
It's
everywhere.
Would be challenging, and that can't be the solution. Just use this as a thing.
Yeah. Jamie texted in and said, "Bigger shed, less mowing." I'm okay with that.
Bigger shed, bigger lawnmower.
Yeah. So again, it's the lawn. The shed we're looking at, or that I've looked at, is a 12 by 20, and would take up a significant chunk of our backyard. And then the plan is
that all that stuff could be out there.
Put all the stuff in there, and then pave. Not a pave, but do a stone walkway that goes to the fire pit, and then back to the patio and all that. A lot of money. Ain't cheap. Ain't cheap. Thanks for all the correspondence. Good to hear from you guys. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.